Alright, I was reading all these negative comments on YouTube video on someone's YouTube page, and I'm gonna respond to those negative comments instead of Rose, because I'm also a victim. A lot of people saying that what took you so long? Over decades, you didn't do anything. Well, you're not rape victims, so you don't understand that. A lot of us, whoever who was molested or raped, well, I was not raped by Harvey Weinstein, but I was raped by another guy in the showbiz, and when the things happened, I was only 18 years old. And yeah, almost 20 years ago. And at the time, there was no Twitter, no Facebook, no YouTube. Right now, we have internet, social media. It's much more easier for today's generation to come out because of social media. Because we know the fact that social media has more power than police officer. Yeah, that's just what it is. So, and number two, most of the time, rape victims, we go through the pain, mentally pain to physical pains. So that, even study says that rape victims are 4 times more likely to commit to suicide and kill themselves than people who have never raped before. And my thing is, the reason why I never reported to the police officer is because I didn't want my parents to know that. I didn't want to put my parents to go through that. And if you're still a young teenage girl, you have a life to go on. You have to go to college. Nobody wants to be famous for being a rape victim. Does that make sense? And if you're a child being molested or sexually harassed or raped, it is difficult for you to process in your head because you don't know what to do. You don't know how to ask for help. The first things that you're gonna think is, oh my God, what did it happen to my body? I feel gross. I feel disgusting. I feel filthy. Alright? And then the society is going to slut shame you and victim blame you or call you a liar or a gold digger. You have to go through all that stuff. And not only that, you are going to ruin your reputation for coming out. You could lose your career, you could lose your job, you could lose your friend, you could lose your scholarship to go to school, or things like that. Why? I'm telling you from my personal experience that I was like A+ English student. After I was raped, I couldn't even spell an English word correctly anymore. And my friend, who was 17 at the time, she was a good student too, but she started to smoke a cigarette after the whole incident happened, and her grade went extremely low as well. And after I entered college, I couldn't focus and I dropped out of college. Because I have insomnia, PTSD, nightmare, and you know what I was thinking as a rape victim? I was thinking, I don't want my parents to know that. I don't want to be famous as a rape victim. Nobody wants to be nobody wants to be famous for a rape victim. Right? That's like the society is going to look at you like a person with a filth, or a person with a default, or some kind of like disgusting creature. Because the society is going to look at a rape victim like that, especially if you're in Asia or Middle East or Africa or somewhere. Women living in different countries, non-Western countries, are much harder to come out as a rape victims than being a Western women living in the Western countries. It's a different situation. Let's say if you are Afghanistanian, and if you are a kid, let's say a 7-year-old girl raped by a middle-aged guy, 58-year-old, ugly, disgusting old dude, grabbed your pussy and tried to rape you or kidnap you, and if you try to make an accusation, what's gonna happen is that 7-year-old kid is going to be called a liar, or that 7-year-old girl virgin is gonna be slut shamed by the society, and she's gonna go to jail instead of the actual rapist. Country like Morocco, they have a constitution to marry to the rapist. That's their tradition in Morocco still. Like if you're being raped, let's say you are 12, you are raped, then you have to marry to the rapist. That's the culture in Morocco. So how are you gonna explain to me that what took you so long? Well, I live in a very conservative country in Asia. My parents still do not know that I'm a rape victim. My parents know that I was molested when I was 11-year-old girl by middle-aged dude. Japanese middle-aged guy tried to grab my pussy from behind. And he tried to kidnap me, and I was okay because I kicked him out. And the second attempt was from different guy. It was middle-aged black guy whose name is Broderick Morris from Positive Production. He's a concert promoter in Japan. And I was raped by him. Raped virgin, half choked. His big giant hand was all over on my face, and I said no, stop it multiple times, and he didn't stop it. Because some foreigner who grew up watching Japanese hentai porn and stuff actually believe that when Japanese girl says no, it means yes, which is not true at all. But if you see some porn, like Asian porn, with rape, like there's a category called rape porn, that some men actually fantasize about raping women, especially Japanese porn, right? So, foreign man who's been living in Japan for so long, and he's got a pretty weird, creepy idea that, Asian girls are so small and tiny. If I go aggressive all over on her, I can just push her down and rape her. And that's why some rapists are so narcissistic and manipulative personality going on. And they try to target a young teenage girl who doesn't know anything. And I was virgin and raped. So what's gonna happen is when you are raped virgin, you're gonna bleed really hard and you gotta go through a lot of physical pain. The second thought I had was I went to a drugstore and get a pregnancy test kit, but I couldn't even take one because I kept bleeding for 2 weeks. If you keep bleeding, you can't take the urine test, right? So what made you think I could go to the police station and talk about my physical pain? Can you imagine that whole mental breakdown situation you have to go through as a teenager? And my friend was 17, I was 18. And I'm not the only rape victim. Broderick Morris raped multiple Japanese girls. It's not coming out because Japan has a slut-shaming, victim-blaming society, so that even you are virgin and raped, the society is gonna blame the actual child. So I made an accusation when I was first molested by middle-aged guy. I was 11. I was 11-year-old girl, right? I talked to my parents. Parents talked to the police officer, and they never took my word seriously. And that pedophile never went to jail. So because of that experience, I almost gave up when I saw the second rapist. That was the first, and I say second rapist because the first attempt from the first guy, he tried to kidnap me, but he failed to kidnap me, and I was okay. Well, I wasn't an okay person, but, he fingered me. But it wasn't a direct rape, like intercourse rape. The second one was actual intercourse rape. So because of that personal experience I went through as 11-year-old girl, I couldn't go to police. I almost gave up. Like, okay, even if I pick up the phone, if I call the police officer, it's just too much. It's just too much for a teenage girl to go through. And I'm not saying that if you are sexually well experienced and being raped by someone, you're not gonna get hurt or anything like that. But if you are still a young teenage girl and being raped virgin, and if that was the second time being molested by someone, it's just too much to take it, and it's almost like, oh my god, here we go again, I met sexual offender again. It's almost like a give up situation, you know what I mean? Because when I was 11-year-old, the society didn't listen to me, even PTA didn't listen to my word. Some of my friends call me a liar, and they put the label on me, a liar. And that pedophile, sexual offender who tried to kidnap me and tried to rape me, he escaped from me because I tried to kick him. And then 2 weeks later, he tried to rape another kid who was much younger, much smaller kid than me. He molested a 6-year-old girl. So I'm reading those negative comments right now. People saying that, okay, Rose Mcgowan was raped in 1997. That's bullshit. Yeah, but she's been thinking about killing herself for 20 years. Edward Yamaha said, did Weinstein rape any of these women? If not, it strikes me as disingenuous that they come out years later about his behavior after they most likely got the part. I don't condone what he did. He should be imprisoned if raped on any of these women. But the example of Gwyneth Paltrow is typical. She accused him of improper behavior when she was alone with non-womanizer in his hotel room late at night. My question to her would be, what were you doing late at night alone in his hotel room? Didn't she know this would lead to some cynicism about casting couches? Why didn't she come out at the time this allegedly happened? Just as men should not be in a potentially compromising position, either should women. It's easy to pardon. Okay, now I have agree with you. Like, if you are women and opportunist and you slept with a famous guy or producer guy, a director, to get the role, you don't have a right to say, like, let's say 20 years later make accusation. That's nonsense. Because it's a give and take situation. You both get the benefit. The ugly dude, middle-aged guy who get the pussy from a beautiful woman who has nothing going on, and the woman get the part or role from the movie. It's a give and take situation, I guess. But I'm not talking about these people. Just because there are some women are okay doing that, just because some women are okay going through casting couch, it doesn't mean that it's okay to do that, because some girls, especially young girls, like teenage girls, or even like 7-year-old or 8-year-old girl or 9-year-old girl who go to movie audition or music auditions, they have no idea about the whole things, right? And by the way, I was chased by Harvey Weinstein when I was 19 years old, without knowing his name is Harvey Weinstein. But at the time, I didn't make accusation. Number one reason is because I didn't even know his name. It was surprising for me that years later I was watching YouTube video and this ugly guy who was trying to sexually molest me at the grocery store was taking picture right next to Gwyneth Paltrow. So I was like, who is this man? Why is this rapist taking picture right next to Gwyneth Paltrow? And then I discovered that he's a very famous Hollywood mogul, one of the most powerful men in show business. But did I go to movie audition? No, I went to grocery shopping and I was not wearing high heels or like provocative clothes or anything like that, but I was chased by Harvey Weinstein and I refused to go out with him. He just came up to me, you want sushi and beer with me? And I said, no, who are you? And he said, and it was like 11:30 p.m. at the grocery store. I was trying to buy some water because I had no water in my fridge. So I went to 24-hour open Ralph's grocery store to get some water. And he just came up to me and just looked at me from head to toe and I fucked me. And he said to me, come on, let's go. I'm staying in a hotel room right now. And I said, who the hell are you, right? And I tried to ignore him. And he kept following me for 15 minutes and said, would you like sushi? And I was like, it's 11:30 p.m. What kind of sushi restaurant is open right now? It's impossible. And I thought he was just creepy and crazy. He's extremely ugly dude. Physically unattractive, right? And he was like, oh, it's okay. I'm the most powerful man in this town. Everybody knows who I am. If I drop my name, all the restaurants gonna open the door for me. And I was like, who the fuck is this dude, right? I'm the most powerful man in Hollywood. You know, that's how he talks and stuff. And he's like, I'm staying in a hotel room right now. Come to my hotel right now. I'm gonna pop up the champagne for you. Would you like some? Yeah, he said to me, would you like beer with me? And I said, I don't drink beer. He's like, what do you want? I have a, I'm gonna I'm gonna pop up the champagne for you. I'm staying in a hotel room right now. Come with me. I was like, no, sir, I don't know who you are, and you're making me feel really uncomfortable. And I was like, tried to ignore him, and he kept following me. And I actually called the security guy from the grocery store called Ralph's. And after I called the security guy, he just ran to the door, escaped, right? And after that, I told the security guard, oh, I'm okay, he's gone. And then I went to the parking lot. I put my grocery on my passenger's side. I sat down, closed the door, tried to take a seatbelt, and I looked at the right side. And here we go, Harvey Weinstein's car parked right next to my car. And his car, because I didn't notice that because I didn't look at the right side when I was holding my grocery. I was holding my grocery in my both hands. So I didn't look at the right side, right? But I heard the noise, right? And I was, what the heck? And when I looked at the right side, there was a Harvey Weinstein. He was riding on a huge white van, and his body was completely naked, and he was wanking and jerking off, right? While his car door was completely open, so I could see through his entire body. So he intentionally opened the car door for me, and butt naked, jerking off. His entire body was naked, like no shirt, no pants, no underwear, nothing. He was just jerking off and wanking like so hard, and yeah. So Harvey Weinstein's so right. Everything he did was consensus. Yeah, right. I told him to fuck off, and then he kept following me, and he popped out his dick right next to my car at the public parking spot. So, anyone leaving negative comments about, oh, Rose Mcgowan is a liar, but then how do you explain about my situation? It's not that I went to his office and tried to go through the casting couch or anything. I was followed by this creepy ass fat dude, and I refused to go out with him because he's so ugly. And then he popped out his dick and started jerking off. So is that my fault? Is that my fault? But that's the thing. That's the reason why some pretty girls, they wear no makeup and wear unfashionable clothes and try to make themselves look less attractive as possible to go to grocery store. And I'm still traumatized by this whole incident. I still cannot put a makeup on and look happy and look cute and go to grocery store because I'm scared to talk to men in a public place because of that. And if you think I'm paranoid, fine, but you can't call me a paranoia if you are actually a rape victim. So yeah, the third time when I saw a sexual offender, the third person was Harvey Weinstein. Actually, it was my fourth person though. Third person was a Guatemalan guy, but he didn't rape me, but he tried to French kiss me in the elevator, and I tried to push him, and yeah, it's all middle-aged guy. It's all done by a middle-aged guy. Why is that? I don't know why. There are some middle-aged guy who fantasize about sleeping with young teenage girl, I guess. But at the time I was 8, I was 19. I was locked up in the elevator. I didn't think I was gonna be sexually molested by my own janitor, my gardener, who works for my building. He was a Latino guy, Guatemalan guy, right? So, but he didn't rape me. But he tried to kiss me. He tried to grope me. And I tried my best to escape the elevator, right? And I sound like a crazy ass bitch, right? But everything I'm telling you is the truth and a fact. So when I go grocery shopping, when I go just, randomly go to some, Home Depot or wherever, I have to make sure that I dress down, I do not wear any makeup, and I try to cover my entire skin, and it's so hard. But I don't know. But the society still try to tell you that it was your fault, right? So what are you saying? Are you saying that all women should wear hijab from head to toe like Middle Eastern women? What kind of society is that? If a man looks at me in a creepy way, it's not my fault, it's the guy's fault. And there are a lot of creepy guys out there, you know? And if you refuse to go out with him, then he's gonna end up popping out his dick and start jacking off. And he wants to make sure that you are going to see and visualize his dick. And that's what happened to me. Thank you, Harvey Weinstein. I'm still traumatized by that shit. Yeah, so